May all beings be well, happy and peaceful. May all beings be free from suffering and its causes. May I be well, happy and peaceful. May I be free from suffering and its causes. We can now open our eyes softly and abide in the present moment. Yes. Wow. It's good to be in this place. Coming to this place, it really actually wraps everything together. All the most important place. Yes, all the most important place of the Buddha. Vaya, Indako, come. In Indian tradition, what are siddhis or idis? Today I'm going to give a talk, a continuation of new wine in old bottle. So what are siddhis or idis?
Ed?
Yeah, idi. Or siddhis, siddhi.
Siddhi.
Siddhis, yeah.
I didn't get
Extra power. According to you in Hindu tradition, what are siddhis? Siddhi. Rishis had a lot of extra
Yes, they
power.
do the siddhis.
Yeah, siddhis.
It is like to
What is it to
having
you?
control on your seven chakras.
Uh-huh.
That is the main important thing. The body, we have seven chakras.
Uh-huh.
So having control on your seven chakras,
Yes.
that is the siddhi.
Yeah, having
If you have
extraordinary
control,
power.
yes,
Yeah,
having
to
external power, and also if you have control on your inner self,
Uh-huh.
that is the siddhi.
Siddhi. Okay. It's called siddhi.
It's called siddhi.
Siddha. Siddha. Yeah, siddha.
You have said that like you have no lust, no anger,
Yeah.
no any fear,
Yeah.
and then control on your body, on your breathe,
Yeah.
everything is under your control. That's called siddhi.
Okay, thank you very much. Betoji. Beto. Now, today I'm going to talk about, yes, I remember when I was in Uganda, first time I established a temple, I used to give a Dhamma talk and all dogs, the dogs sit down and listen to them. When I'm not giving a Dhamma talk, they are not there. It was one dog that would sit. So now I'm going to talk about ED. In ancient India, even now, this word still exists. It's called Siddhi because of the Hindi, but the Pali language is called Idi. Idi. Siddhi, Idi. So it's called Idipada. They are called the four Idipadas. It's one of the 37 wings of awakening. So now, these Idipadas, they are translated in English as the four bases of success. Four bases of what? Success. Already we have learned the four. You remember we learned the four
So the four bases of what? What is the
success.
Success.
Success. Yeah, success. Yeah, success.
The
So
four bases of success.
yes, that's what we are going to learn today.
Great.
But we have already learned four things. You remember them? Also related to success. You remember? What did we learn about something to do with success? Success.
Associate with wise people. That list. Right place.
Suitable place. The wheels, we learned the wheel of success. You remember wheels?
The wheel.
Yeah, already. We learned the wheels, all the four blessings. You remember when we talked about residing in a suitable association with the wise, then living in a suitable place, then having done, yes,
The blessings.
yeah, yes, and also establishing oneself. Those are called wheels of success. The wheel, they keep on rolling and they cannot stop. Now we are going to learn another four. What the Buddha called, they are the bases. The bases. When you want to succeed in everything in life, you need to practice them. And probably that's what he practiced in order to be successful. So these are very important, and the Buddha included them in the 37 wings of awakening. Those who know this teaching, we call them 37 wings. Pakia border, the wings, like a bird, the wings of awakening. Yes. Of course, in that wings, we have even the 7 factors of enlightenment. So now, what are they? The first one is chanda. Chanda. Chanda in Pali can be translated as motivation or wish to do or zeal or aspiration. So this is the place now you can make aspiration. Aspiration. You get aspiration to attain awakening. I think this is what the Buddha did also here. You remember? Raising his finger. This is the last bath. This is it. I'm good to go. Can we make that proclamation also? That we are good to go. We are good. This is it. We all came here on this trip. I'm sure you've got a lot of inspiration and aspirations. So you should have this chanda, wish. Now, there is another base, is called virya. Virya is energy, effort. Effort to do something. And the third one is called chitta, mind. The Pali word is chitta, C-I-T-T-A, which is mind. And then the fourth one is called vimansa, discernment, another fancy word for wisdom. So those are the 4 bases of success. As you already know, when you look at the first word, chanda, it's desire. But in Buddhism, we have 3 kinds of desire. 3 kinds of desire. We should really distinguish them clearly, because most people say, oh, you people, I thought the Buddha told you not to have any desire. But what about desire to practice meditation? Is it not another desire? What about desire to attain Nibbana? Is it not another desire? So you should not have any desire, because the Buddha told you to overcome desire. So that's where the English language sometimes becomes very confusing, because we continue to use the same word. So, but in Pali, it's very clear. Chanda is more of a wish to do. Maybe I wish to stretch. That's neutral desire. Don't say I'm not going to stretch because I have desire. I'm going to have desire. I should overcome desire. So when you want to stretch, you don't stretch. No. This is a more of a neutral desire. Wish to do, an aspiration. Aspiration should not be a big problem, because it's chanda. Where it becomes a problem is anytime we combine some words with that word. Like, for instance, kama chanda. Actually, chanda means literally approval. We use it in our monastic tradition. They ask us to approve a meeting if we're not going to attend. So they go and seek chanda from, they go and seek chanda from a monk. Approve the meeting to keep on going. Now, when we combine that word with another word, let's say kama chanda. So now kama means sensual world. So now you're approving the sensual world to take over. That's where the Buddha was having a problem. If you make that approval, and the sense world become the boss. And you become a puppet. So then they take you everywhere and you cling on to them. That's become unwholesome. Then that kind of desire is, we already talked about this, akusala. And why is it akusala? When you approve the sense world to take over, especially takes you into all blind corners and troubles, you know. So is akusala because it's leading to your suffering, suffering of others, and suffering of both. That's called kamachanda. But also, we have what we call dhammachanda. Now we are just combining that chanda with another one, which is called dhamma. So it's approving the dhamma to take over, the truth. And that's the desire to practice meditation. Nobody should ever challenge you that Buddha talk about overcoming desire and you have desire to attain nibbana. And if you know these Pali words, you will never be challenged. 3 desires. The neutral one, chanda, wish to do. Then, combining it with another word, it has a different meaning. Kamachanda is akusala. Then, dhammachanda is unwholesome because it's about overcoming desire. So, in other words, desire to be desireful is akusala. Desire to be desireless is kusala.
It's kusala.
Yes. But of course, still we have to overcome that desire once we attain enlightenment. That's what the Buddha was talking about. If you climb, if you cross the river with a boat, after you've crossed, you don't carry the raft. Eh? You don't carry the raft around. You just leave the raft behind. Yeah, but we should not use that one and misunderstand it, that you are just a vegetable. You're actually cultivating still wholesome states of mind. Is that distinction clear? Yes. So in our daily life, even on this trip, we should have aspiration. Don't say, oh, it's going to be another desire, so I should have no aspiration. How about starting your meditation with an aspiration? May this practice of mine be of the benefit to all beings. May this practice, so that it's not only you own as a person, but also an aspiration for this practice to benefit all sentient beings. Don't start asking, oh, why am I sitting here? What has it got to do with the people in Australia, in Uganda? It's very little. No, no, no. Make that aspiration. Plant the seed. Plant the seeds. For me, when I made my aspiration, it was a long time ago. Most people think that the Uganda Buddhist Center started in 2005. No, it started way before that. When I was in India, when I started seeing the monks, when I see His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I made an aspiration that may I be able to bring the Dhamma to Africa. So slowly by slowly, it keeps on going. As the saying goes, if you want to be successful, you have to start and continue. Those are the 2 things you need. You start and continue. So if you want to be successful in your meditation, my brothers and sisters, start with chanda, and guess the continuation is the next factor, the base. The second base is virya. Virya is what's going to make us continue. Chanda is the starting point, and virya is the continuation. At some point I read somewhere that vision without action is like dreaming, and action without a vision is a nightmare. Yeah, I remember. I've forgotten the name who said like that. But again, it points to that we should combine our chanda with virya. So chanda without virya is like a daydreaming. Aspiration after aspiration. It's like me, I make an aspiration to start a temple in Uganda and I remain in the United States. Nothing is going to manifest. Though life is good in our monastery, West Virginia, life is so easy. I don't have to do the administration. I just have to deal with tomato But again, I said, no, this is not going to work. I have to leave my monastery in West Virginia and went into the dust places and where I was staying in open air, in a tent, which I called mobile temple. And it used to rain and I get wet and I just go under the tree. No temple, nothing, on the tree, you know. So I kept on applying my effort again and again, until I had a shelter. Until slowly by slowly, we built a monastery, and now we have schools, we have a medical center, we have orphanage. So these are things did come out from vacuum. It just came out from aspirations, chanda, and the motivation, and also the effort. So we have fourfold efforts. Fourfold efforts. One is an effort to prevent unskillful and also overcome them. That's the second one, to overcome. But also, we have the third effort to develop. And the fourth one is to maintain. And this is really maintaining and developing skillful. So whatever we are doing which is skillful, we should have the effort to develop it and maintain it. And if along the way we see something unskillful, we should prevent and overcome it. But still there's also another three kinds of effort, which is actually very important here. The Buddha talked about in Anguttara Nikaya, three kinds of effort. One is called initial effort. Initial, you start. And once you start, you need to sustain that effort. That's the second kind of effort, sustaining. And then the third one is called non-stop. Non-stop flight. Okay? This one I can compare it to when you go to the airport. When you go to the airport, you see aeroplane parked there. Just in the parking lot, aeroplanes. Now, these aeroplanes need what you call initial effort. Initial effort. Powerful as they are, they just sit there like ducks. So they need this, they're called tuft, what's called ta? What's the English word? No, the machine that pulls it is, yeah, towing. Yeah, it's called tar, yeah? No, it's tar something. Okay, call it a tractor. So it give it, and it hooks in it and just give its initial push. Without that, cannot go anywhere. Even if it has motivation to go from Uganda to United States, it's just sitting there. So even your motivation can be sitting there. You need some spark, which is the effort, to align you somewhere. So that tractor, what it does, it just keep on initializing it, and then it keeps it in the right direction. And then it goes. At that time, the engines are starting one by one. One, two, start preparing. And at that moment, the airplane has to apply what called sustained effort. It keep on sustaining effort in the runway. It keeps on sustaining. It just keep on the speed going, and now it goes to take off. And now we have a non-stop effort. No stopping. They will just refuel, keep on refueling from above. This is called non-stop flights. So in our effort, we should have this kind of three kinds of effort. Have you heard this common mantra? I don't have time to practice. I don't have time to meditate. Have you heard about this universal mantra? Yes, it's because though you don't have basis of success. Once you have those bases, you'll find time. because we see the initial effort, sustained effort, and non-stop effort. Why are we stopping and work in fits and start? Because we have not learned how to put those together. The law of success, start and continue, and you'll be unstoppable. We actually, people who are like in a vacuum somewhere in Uganda. It's just amazing sometimes how things manifest for us, actually. You go and get stuck and you don't have some kind of donation to keep going, but all of a sudden, you see something manifesting. Yeah, the power of a mind is amazing, really, when you really make aspiration. It manifests, things manifest. How somebody come from a tent, it's really, I mean, just from a tent. And now having some people joining us, for me, it came from keep on making those aspirations and make small strides, slowly by slowly, with the initial sustaining and also continuation. Thank you, sad. This one again. Amitovo, 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 yeah, Amitovo. Yeah, thank you. So now we know what chanda and we know what's effort. So the next one, the next wheel of success, each of them feed into the other. These are not isolated events. You have motivation, the more motivation, you get interest, and that sparks on energy. That's why you see scientists, they go in a laboratory because they have a motivation to to find the results, and they keep on working for long hours. And you're wondering where they get the energy. It's because of their aspiration so strong. And then they keep going. So then the third one is called chitta. Chitta is mind. That's one of the words my teacher told me, leave it untranslated. It's very confusing. Sometimes people say chitta is consciousness, mind state, but chitta is chitta. And chitta also has many words. Sometimes they say mano, which is the thinking side. Then they say vijnana. Then that's more of affective side of it. So it's a very difficult word to translate, given that we have many nuances of these words. But let's stay with mind, actually. Steadying the mind, stabilizing the mind, and stay focused. That would probably correspond to the four jhanas. Jhanic factors, the jhanas, cultivating the mind, concentrate, stay focused. If you go out of focus, then your energy will be misdirected. What's your focus? That's why even organization, including Tricycle, I'm sure it has a vision, it has a mission, it has policies, it has a way how to execute these things. And also it has to stay focused. Any time they diverge from what they intended, they keep on checking. It has a strategic plan to stay focused. So actually the four bases of success can be applied in daily life, in our practice, and also in business, and also our aspiration to be awake. If that's your aspiration to attain enlightenment, you better stay focused on that. In a chitta. In a realm of a chitta, we are going to see mindfulness coming in. We are going to see concentration coming in so that we can stay focused. Have you done an experiment of this nature? In Uganda, when I was in primary school, we did the experiment of convex lens and concave lens. Concave lens, it has a curvature like this, and convex lens was like this. So now once you put a concave lens in the sun, it will scatter all the rays. So we put a paper down, and this is a concave, and then you wait, the paper didn't burn. All the rays were scattered, but we changed from a concave lens to a convex lens. And we put there. We put the peppers and it burns. That's the power of being focused. Harnessing all your energy into one place. Who has done that experiment? Maybe it's in Uganda alone. You don't know? Concave lens? You've done? Yeah. So, oh, what burnt then? What did you put to burn?
We set paper on fire.
Huh?
We made paper burn. Paper.
Yes.
It burned.
Yeah, but during the experiment, for us, this was a convex lens, and we put a pepper, and I saw it burning. For me, it was a fascinating experience. And this is just lenses, and the sun is too far. So that's why the Buddhas talked about kusala chitta ekagata, means one-pointedness, kusala, wholesome state of mind. One-pointedness, wholesome state of mind. Very powerful. Can you imagine if you collect all your wholesome states of mind and they're one-pointed and they're focused, not scattering? It's so powerful. So whatever concentration you can achieve, it's very, very important for your success. Even if in business, even in family. If your family is not focused, you may not live together. You have to stay focused as a family. You have to find out something. Even in our life, if we didn't stay focused, I think we could not be on this pilgrimage. Once we start our program and say, no, for me, I want to go to Uganda. And USA, me, I want to Grand Canyon. But your aspiration was come to India. But now you're losing focus. Or some of you say, no, I think I better go to Mount Kailash. So this trip will not be successful, isn't it? Yeah, this is very important. So I think Chitta is very clear. Stay focused, steady in mind, and continue on, and effort will help. Effort will be aligned if we stay focused. It means also continuity of mindfulness. Continuity of mindfulness. Here I'm going to give you again triple C. Triple C, right? Triple C. Triple C. C is, you have to keep those triple C's. All right? The first C is continuity of mindfulness. Continue, continue. Who has ever done Goenka retreats? I think it's very good at that one. Remind people, continue, continue, continue. It seems that persistence is the law of success also. Persistence is the law of success. You have to persist. That's what I've done in Uganda Buddhist Center. Even with difficulty, I didn't have an easy road in Uganda when I'm establishing Buddhism there. But what kept me going is continue, non-stop. Okay, another C is called concurrence. Concurrence. Concurrence means everything should kind of meet together with your aspiration and what you want. It should not be haywire. So concurrence, coinciding at the same time. Okay, I want to achieve this, get resources to make sure it's concurrent. Right? Concurrency. Okay? The C, another third C, is concentration. If you have concentration,
Concentration.
yes,
With concurrence, everything should fit together? Is that what you
coincide together. It's like when I'm eating, this is a spoon and this is a food. When I bring the fork, it should not go this way. It should land exactly on the food, right there. Even if I close my eyes. By the way, it's amazing. In Uganda, we used to lose electricity and no light. And we eat in the dark, but nobody ever put food in the ears or in the nose. That's the power of concurrence. But in US, I think you cannot relate to this. Power doesn't go out and you eat in the darkness. But in Uganda, we used to eat in the darkness many, many times. But never at one point I put food in my nose. So all the time with concurrent. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, we go. Now we go to the last one. The last one is called Vimansa, which means discernment. We should discern. Discernment, another word for wisdom or understanding. And here in discernment, we need to really do so many things here. So many things. One such thing that we need to do is to know the insights. Insights into impermanence nature of things, which I've talked about. We need to know the insight into unsatisfactoriness nature of things, unsatisfactoriness. We talked about also selfless nature of things. In other words, anicca, dukkha, anatta. That's one way. But for most part, discernment means being able to discern between what's wholesome and unwholesome. Now you can see how my talks leads into the other. I've already covered that one. How to discern what's skillful and unskillful. That's called Vimansa. You remember? I'm not going to repeat what's skillful and unskillful. Kusagras, you remember? I gave you 4 distinctions right there from time to time. That's called Vimansa. Also, Vimansa means to be able to practice what we call Yoniso Manasikara. Yoniso, Yoni is a womb, and Mani means do, Sikara means to do, man in the mind. So imagine reflecting or considering according to the mind from the origin. It's a mouthful, but anyway, it means wise attention. In other words, see things which are impermanent as impermanent. See things as suffering. See things which have no self as no self. But most people, they do haywire. They do unwise consideration where they see everything which is impermanent, they see it as permanent. Things which have a lot of dukkha, they see it as happiness. Things which have no self, they see as having self. Things which are unattractive, they see it as attractive. So wise reflection is going to the source, to the womb, yoni. Yoni in Nepali is called yoni. Going to the origin. Where is the origin? We all originate in the womb. So your consideration should go back to the origin and see things as they are from the origin, not the way how it's distorted later on. We distort big time, and we call it vipalasa, distorting. In daily life, in business, we could do even SWOT analysis. That would be equivalent to Vimansa, discerning. I do it a lot, all the time. When I came to India, my karma was to start a business in the university. And when I started Dharma, in other words, turning Buddhism into, from business to Buddhism, I combine a lot of stuff. Things to do with business, I keep on mingling it with the Dharma. And so now, SWOT analysis, I do it for Uganda Buddhist Center, whereby I always discern what's Uganda Buddhist Center strength, what's Uganda Buddhist Center weakness, what's Uganda Buddhist Center opportunities, and what are the threats. So in discernment side of it, then I would like to focus more on our strength and opportunities. Then I would like also to really lessen Uganda Buddhist Center weakness and threats. So that will be discernment. Without discernment, you mix all together. And in that mixing, you end up increasing more of the threats and weakness, and forget about the opportunities you have. So a few weeks ago, I called Uganda Buddhist Center. I say, we have started a school. There are so many schools, but what's our strength? I told the administrator, Uganda Buddhist Center is very unique. No school teaches mindfulness. Let's focus on that. No school is teaching Kung Fu. That's our strength. So I was using Vimansa to empower them. And also, I tell them that we have access to volunteers around the world. So you see our volunteers, as we are speaking, there's a friend of mine from England is teaching children how to practice meditation. And when I go, I'll just give a full dose, So this guy has initiated. Since the term began, they have not learned mindfulness because they are new. They are coming from different religions. But a friend from England is really teaching mindfulness. Them. They are not say, oh, this, they're not going to say this Ugandan is crazy. At least they have seen somebody from overseas also giving that message. So when I go, he has just really leveled the ground. I'll just keep on adding. So there's no school doing that. Then we come to languages. I said, our school is going to start learning Spanish. We're going to learn Chinese. We're going to learn these languages. So I said that focus on our strength, not so much of our weakness. Because also we see weakness and people tend to focus on that. Oh, our school don't have this, our school don't have this, blah, blah, blah. I said, no, focus on what's strength and opportunities. So we can see Buddha's teaching applicable in a practical life. In your daily practice, what do you see as your challenge to the practice? What is the threat do you have? Is it the people you stay around who really actually soft pedal what you're doing? What are your weaknesses? Is it lack of time? I told you the universal mantra. I tell people you have time to breathe. I tell people that you have time to breathe. The Buddha tell you, observe your breath. You have the time. And you focus on your strength. In that, you still have faculties, healthy, you know, and you can listen to the Dhamma and you can sit down and practice. So now, when you have Vimasa, which is another word for wisdom or discernment, and you have it under your belt, guess what? You go back to your aspirations. You go back to what? To your aspiration, your zeal. It even becomes more powerful because you have clarity, you have insight. It's more clear. These are things that are not linear. From aspiration to effort to mind to Vimansa. No, they are not linear. My explanation is linear. But as you keep on practicing, the practice will gain momentum. So the more you have more wisdom, the more your aspirations are very clear. Eh? You don't make an aspiration to have ice cream. No. You make better aspirations. Eh? You are not discouraged, okay, if I make aspiration to attain enlightenment, I don't have all the conditions to attain enlightenment. No, go for it. In Uganda, we have a way of getting mangoes. And when I was very young, actually, I was terrible in getting mangoes. We get a stick, I would hit it and I don't get mangoes. But my brothers were hitting and get mangoes. You know, I said, what do you do? How do you do it? I have the same stick and I'm really aiming it at the mangoes. I don't get mangoes. He said, no, Stephen, you're doing it wrong. He told me, let me tell you how you do. He would actually hit a little bit above the mango. And once there is a trajectory and there is what you call gravity, it will just hit the mango right on. For me, when I was hitting on a mango, and then with the with the gravity, it will just fall short. I was so frustrated. I was getting leaves and leaves and leaves. They are getting mangoes. So now, once I got that technique, I would now do it in also spiritual world. Aim higher. Final liberation. And if there's any gravity, maybe you end in the third. If there's another gravity, you end up the second. If there's another gravity pull, maybe the first. Do we get the point? Don't say, oh, you know, and I don't have time to practice. If my aspiration is to attain final liberation, it's just unreachable. No. Hit it high. And in case you have some hindrances somewhere, maybe you hit the second, the third. You hit the second, you hit the first. So the more we have wisdom, the more we can actually find a way how to make highest aspirations. And with the highest aspiration, I get more energy. People ask, where do you get that energy to keep going? People ask, It's my aspiration. It's my aspiration that keeps me going. Even when people are seeing obstacles, me I just see stepping stones. Yes. No, no, Bante, we don't have this. No, no, it's good. Let's start from there. I challenge my people in Uganda. They say, Bante, this is too much. It's too much. Now we have not. No, we are going for it. I remember when I was starting a secondary school last year, one girl who is working with us, she said, Bante, we are not ready to start a secondary school. Bante, we are not ready. I said, what? We are over ready. Sure enough, we went for it. 10 students, and now we have 74. So for me, anytime, and people know that if you tell a Bante that this is a challenge, that's a starting point. So what I'm saying, there's no too hill. There's no hill which is too high for somebody who has an aspiration. So for somebody who sees the positive side of life. I remember I was in Vietnam. It was a conference, United Nations conference on Visak Day. So at the end of the conference, they took us for a tour, and that was to climb a mountain called Yentu Mountain, very high mountain. So now there was a professor from Japan. This professor from Japan looked at the mountain, and this is too high. He actually was teaching in a university in Colombo. He said, I'm not going to go there. So he gave up. Me, I looked once, yes, it's high, but I'm going to look one step at a time. Exactly what I did is one step at a time. I didn't look again there. It's one step at a time. It's breath by breath. It's moment by moment. Even if you think that meditation is difficult, just boil it down to the moment. It's very, very important. And keep going. Never give up. These are the three kind of effort we talked about. Initial effort, sustaining effort, and non-stop flight. All right? Don't take one-stop flight. In the spiritual world, take non-stop flight always. Actually, I was trying to figure out my flight. I'm going to United States through Singapore. And I looked at all the flights. I was with my assistant, Andrew. One was taking me to have a stopover 14 hours in Taipei. But it was cheap, about $520. I said, maybe I can call somebody in Taiwan, visit them, and then, but I remembered my principle. Non-stop flight is always the best. But I looked at them, were very expensive. Like Singapore Airline, and because I'm from Uganda, I'm flying to Singapore, have some medical checkup, and then go to Spirit Rock to teach in May. So I'm not coming to Uganda as usual because of Middle East. Normally I would take Emirates, go to Singapore, back to Uganda, and then go to USA. Now, cannot. So what I decided is to take Ethiopian Airline, and then the leg between Singapore and the USA challenged me a lot, San Francisco. I went through all the flights, 2,000 US dollars, this and that. But one was very enticing, to have to stay one night in Taiwan is cheaper. And even I say, wow, this is going to be great. I'm 14 hours in Taiwan. My friend will take me to their home, and maybe, even if for lay people, this is even a very good option. If you're going to pay $1,500 for a non-stop flight, and then this flight, which is a single stop, is $520. You could stay in a hotel for $600 and eat very well and do shopping until you drop. I think this would be a good. It was a very good motivation. I said, wow. But I said, I'm going to take a non-stop flight. And I told my Andrew, please, take Continental Airlines, which is now United, I think. Yeah, United. Take United is non-stop flight. So about $990. Don't buy a single stop flight, because whenever you stop somewhere, then the changes, flight, but non-stop flight is always for me the best option. And you know where I get it. It's from the Dhamma. Okay? I get a lot of Dhamma and smuggle into daily life, and I smuggle a lot of daily life into the Dhamma. So for me, if I can merge the Dhamma and daily life, let my Dhamma be the daily life, and my daily life be the Dhamma. Thank you very much. I offer this for your reflection. That's what I can offer here in this moment. I hope it will help you to have the four bases. And if you can tack it together with the four wheels, that would be wonderful. And you can do it, be playful and read. Use it in any situation, whether it's daily life, the four noble eightfold and the noble eightfold path. So it's questions now.
Bhante, what was the? I got a lot of ideas here, but what was the fourth?
Vimansa. Vimansa is another word for wisdom. You know, there's so many Pali words, but Vimansa means discernment.
Okay.
Discern. Yes, between what's wholesome and unwholesome. That talk we already had. I'm not going to repeat.
I got it.
Yeah, so then I gave you a lot of discernment, even to discernment in business, in your own business. SWOT analysis. Do SWOT analysis. That will bring discerning the external environment. It's called environmental scanning. What's external environment and internal environment, and find out what do you want to increase. You want to increase strength and opportunities, and you want to lessen your weakness and the threats. So it's applicable even in the business world. It's applicable in their life. It's applicable in your practice, whereby we are constantly try to look at, okay, what insight do I get from here? And in fact, we did it in this morning. I didn't know whether you remember. In the morning, I was bringing that discernment whereby we are breathing in and brought in the four elements. I smuggled in the four elements so that it can help you to clearly discern the breath. This is not air coming into the body. No, we have to discern properly. It's elements. I tell people that we are not balloons putting in, air out. No, we need to really bring in the discernment. What's going on actually here? Then we talked about properties of elements. The breath is air. There's movement. You can feel the movement of the breath. And also sometimes as you breathe in, it's cool. And then when it goes inside from the lungs, it comes warm. Then be aware of the warmness. Then be aware of the touch sensation. So to do this, you need to be able to really integrate Buddha's teaching. They are not linear. You have to have wisdom to be able to really merge them, and that requires discernment. Thank you very much for the question.
You're welcome.
Okay, yes. C, triple C. Actually, this came from a monk. I was practicing for 1 month with a senior monk from Burma. It's called Sadhu Pandita. His assistant told me, "What's your name?" I said, Buddharakkhita. What does it mean? I told him protected by the Buddha. He told me you should protect the 3 C's. The first C is, remember. You remember the first one? Continuity. Continuity of mindfulness, even continuity of everything can lead to success. You know this rope? You know this rope? It has a weak thread. One weak thread like this, so weak. But what it makes it stronger, that even when I pierce like this, I cannot pierce through. Is it because one weak thread continuing with the weak thread and become strong? So if we want to become strong in anything, whether it's our practice, we have to have continuity of practice, continuity of mindfulness. And continuity of mindfulness, once you get what called concurrence, is what's going to make for concentration. Most people think, oh, I can't concentrate. But do you have continuity? So it's because of your continuity of mindfulness that is going to make for concentration. So that's why I say, well, if you want to have a strong mind, which is chitta, you should have continuity of mindfulness. Of course, it will borrow from effort also, effort, which you have discussed at the third. Then there's a continuity of mindfulness, When concurrent with the observing power is in concurrence with observing, and then concentration is going to be a natural product of that. Then you have a strong mind. What is a strong mind? It can oppose the opposite. When the mind is concentrated, it opposes the mental defilements. A mind which is concentrated, it opposes defilements like aversion, sloth and torpor, restless and worry, doubt. So you have a strong mind. And once you have such a strong mind, it's amazing when you look at Buddha's teaching. Buddha's teaching says that a concentrated mind sees things as they really are. And that's Vimansa. Vimansa is discernment, and to be able to discern is to see things as they really are. So you can see the transition you make. A smooth transition from the mind being strong, steady, stillness, to Vimansa. It's natural. You don't even have to wish. You don't have to wish, oh, may I be able to see things as they really are. No, you don't. When the mind is concentrated, it's natural that you are seeing things clearly. It's just like when there's a swimming pool, it's stirred up with a lot of stuff, debris and all that. And once it settles, you start seeing everything. Yeah. Is that clear?
Curious about where this fits in the loop, in the feedback loop that you're saying all of these elements conspire together. Experience. So I'm thinking of the kusa. The original kusa was cushion, right?
Yeah.
So sitting meditation increases my ability for all the other things.
Yes.
Because I can see the benefit.
Right.
So it's empirical. It's like the experience of feeling peace, the experience of calming down, is what makes me able to be kinder.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I haven't heard you speak so much about sitting on the cushion part of our practice. Maybe it's because it's so obvious. But I'm curious about what you think about that.
Yeah, actually, Buddha's teaching, one of it is sitting on a cushion, but actually the teaching is called viharati, dwelling. Dwelling. Whether you're standing, walking, lying down, or whenever you are awake. That's the Buddha's teaching. Cushion is the we who fix things and say, okay, let me sit on a cushion. But the entire Buddha's teaching in the four foundations of mindfulness, a lot of it is not on a cushion actually. It's off cushion. Yeah, but the idea of kusa grass is already in the Hindu tradition. It's a purification. The grass itself is a purification. They use it in ceremonies. You remember when I was teaching, I reminded you that even they put it around their fingers. There is no ceremony they do without this actually. Am I right? It's in deep samadhi. So it's considered the kusa grass is a spiritual symbol for purification. Spiritually, it's used. Buddha, when he came, he saw this going on. And what the Buddha did, it was to really find out a way how it can be accessed by people. Not by way of ceremony, but the way using it for awakening. So now they gave it to him because he was part of the society. And they gave him to sit, but it was not symbolizing sitting position. It was symbolizing spirituality, cultivating skillfulness. And when he was sitting there and he got enlightened, he said that just sitting on a cushion won't get you enlightened. Just sitting on a cushion? No. If it was like that, we all got enlightened. In fact, I will look for one. I'll ask him to get me one. So Buddha actually pushed it to a higher psychological, philosophical level to really now look at the mind states that can purify the mind. What are those mindfulness states that can purify the mind? Is generosity, which is the opposite of greed. Loving kindness and compassion, the opposite of hatred. Wisdom and understanding, the opposite of delusion. That's what purifies the mind, not sitting on a cushion. But that's why I was saying that new wine in the old bottle. So this, I've just talked about EDs. You don't know, even now, people are talking about CD everywhere. This is not something that Indian people don't know. Indian people know CD. All the rishis, all these spiritual people, they already look at what we call spiritual extraordinary power that they cultivate through different chakras, the 7 of them. They are doing it because of getting CDs. The Buddha said, well, how can I make it accessible to myself and other people? So now he saw the way your foundation for success. This lays the foundation for any success. Whether it's business or practice, you should have motivation. Without motivation, you cannot get anywhere. You'll be like a rocking chair. You know rocking chair? It looks moving somewhere, but in one place. So just having these aspirations, no. If you have aspirations, proper aspirations, it's the basis for foundation. It's a power. It's power. If somebody has aspiration, it becomes really very, very powerful. That's why you need a strong vision in an organization and then a mission. So then he went on to find out Vidya. In the 37 factor of enlightenment, it appears more than any other factor. Even it appears more than mindfulness. It appears more than wisdom. It appears more than faith. We have what called 37 factors of enlightenment. I mean, wings of awakening. One time I gave a talk at IMS, I listed the constitution of the energy in entire thing. I calculated based on a percentage. So now energy and effort. Without effort, you cannot do anything. So that became an extraordinary power. And even the Buddha used it to say that I'm not going to change my posture. He made that determination, what you call aditana, until I get enlightenment. You remember when he sat in one seat and said, I'm not going to rise up until I attain enlightenment. You require a lot of effort. Let my sinews and skin, you remember? Yes, that requires effort. And even to make those efforts powerful, he split it to 3. One is the initial, another one sustained, another non-stop. Whenever an architect comes, he finds something new. He said, Bhante, you are unstoppable. That's when I started creating a private school from cardboards. I made cardboards, no money. I created iron sheets. When he was visiting, I made sure that the plywood, the inside, I said, Bhante, you are unstoppable. Because I couldn't let know my monks have finished primary living examination. They have passed very well. They have nowhere to go. I don't see the money. I just made cardboards and and iron sheets. And I said, this is senior one. This is it. That's why I say that once you have that motivation, you don't want to let go, Energy will come and you continue and sustain it. So then that's what the Buddha was doing, is to raise what was in the society already and gave it a higher philosophical value. It's not more of the seat, it's what was behind that seat in the tradition, which is considered to be purification, spiritual power. Yeah. I hope it helps.
That is good. That did help. I guess when I was teaching mindfulness meditation, I would tell people we're not doing this to become good meditators.
Yes.
That's not what we're. Sitting helps with mindfulness, which then we can carry into the world, into our life, and be more mindful.
Yes.
Will help to be more, to have more kindness.
Yes. I think this is good.
I couldn't do it if I didn't have a sitting practice.
Okay, I see. Yeah, anyway, the thing, I think sitting is very good to have a formal sitting. There's no doubt about it. And is out of the 21 ways of mindfulness, there's one mindfulness which is prescribed as a sitting, which is mindfulness of breathing. Sitting, cross-legged. The rest, which is 20, are not really prescribed as sitting. But of course, we have to always do the sitting. It's easier to really gain concentration. It's easier to get focused. The only thing I want to remind people is that when you sit on a cushion, try to extrapolate what was on the cushion there and take it to the daily life. Otherwise, you become a time bomb. Everything is kusala on a cushion. As soon as you go out, it goes out of the window. That's why I say that, yes, it's very, very important to emphasize formal meditation, that we need to do that as formal meditation. Sit for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and then 1 hour, and then in the rest of life, apply it. And even for me, I think I tell people, if sitting was the only way to meditation, all frogs will be enlightened. That's what the Buddha told the people. The Buddha told the people, if only way to purification was to immerse yourself in water, all the frogs will be in Nibbana. So now I extrapolate that actually it's very important to balance out your way of observing kusala. Whether your kusala is cultivated on a cushion or outside, it's very, very important that you keep the practice going, but not one at the cost of the other, whereby you emphasize sitting. And yeah, so we need both. We need the formal practice, and that's why in the entire sutta of the four foundations of mindfulness, it has 21 ways of mindfulness. The Buddha was talking about viharati, dwelling. On a cushion you're dwelling, on a standing you're dwelling. So in my meditation practice, I always emphasize mindfulness of sitting, walking, and standing. Whenever I teach a retreat, always there's mindfulness of standing. Because much of the modern meditation is sit. That's why we have sitting groups. You see when people are listening, do you have a sitting group? And really people, when they go, they sit there. I said, no. We have a group, it's called sitting, standing, walking group. Anyway, thank you very much for question. Last question? Last question? I think we are good. Okay, let us share our merit. Okay? May all our merits that we have acquired here through listening to the Dhamma talk, even giving a Dhamma talk, may they be shared with all beings around the world, in the universe. May they be happy, may they be peaceful, they may be free from suffering and its causes. You say sadhu, sadhu. Okay, take away. Every time you start your meditation, before you observe breathing in and breathing out, make an aspiration. May this sitting benefit, this meditation of mine, benefit all beings, including myself. You don't want to miss the boat. May all beings be happy, may all beings be separate. And at the end, dedicate your practice. Even if you've been unmindful, a lot of hindrances, don't mind, don't judge yourself. You end your sitting, may my practice be dedicated to all beings. So it's AD. Aspiration, dedication. Aspiration, dedication. If there's any takeaway, please. Aspiration is very important. Thank you very much. I offer this for your reflection. Yes. Thank you. Okay. I give it to BJ.